Hello and welcome to Unikron's Gaming. Today's video is all about Tekken 3. Realistically, this is about my history of Tekken 3. And there's some of the stories that I've had throughout the years. Anyway, let's just do a brief history about Tekken 3. You know, who made it, when it came out, all that stuff, yada yada yada. Anyway, courtesy of Wikipedia, it says Tekken 3 is a 1997 fighting game developed and published by Namco. It is the third installment in the Tekken series and the first game built on a Namco System 12 arcade hardware. The game takes place 19 years after Tekken 2 and features a largely new cast of characters, including the debut of several stable characters such as Jin Kazama, Ling Xiaoyu and Brian Fury, and adds a sidestepping ability to each character. Tekken 3 was ported to the PlayStation in 1998, with additional content including a beat-em-up mode called Tekken Force. Let's see what else it says here. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. The game was a major hit for both the arcades and the consoles, selling 35,000 arcade units and 8.36 million PlayStation copies worldwide, making Tekken 3 the fifth best-selling PlayStation game. Since its release, Tekken 3 has been cited as one of the greatest games of all time. It was followed by the Tekken Tag Tournament in 1999 and its direct sequel Tekken 4 2001. Later Tekken 3 arcade version was included in, forget all that nonsense. Anyway, yeah, Tekken. I first saw Tekken 3 when it debuted in Namco Wonder Park, which was in central London, well, the West End. It used to be situated behind Piccadilly Circus and Leicester Square. I believe just off, is it Shaftesbury Avenue? My mind is hazy, but it's around there anyway. Its biggest competitor was Funland, the Trocadero. So yeah, but I didn't notice in the Trocadero. It was definitely Namco Wonder Park. I think they kept it exclusive for themselves. But yeah, I was there with my friend Jazz, a couple of other friends, my god brother. There's a crowd of people there, because obviously it was being shown, and yeah, it was lots of oohs and ahs, because obviously we had only a Tekken 2 to go by. But yeah, so that was Tekken 3 for us, and that was the first time I saw it. Yeah, so now let's go on to, you know, just some of the, or a few stories from me and Tekken 3. Bonus round. Can I just say, look at all the modes you have available and unlocks. Remember back in the day when this used to happen? Once again, you didn't have to pay for this or buy the premium version. You unlock characters. The only one here that's not here is Gone, because I put in my name instead of the word Gone by accident. Oh well. For me, Tekken 3 was a pivotal point when it came to me playing arcade games. It was the first time where I wouldn't play an arcade game if I knew the buttons or the sticks wasn't good, because I needed like instant reactions and sharp controls. So I only played this at the big arcades like Namco Wonder Park or Wonderland or whatever it's called in central London, and what was the other place that they had it in? Some of the play to wins around central London as well. So you're talking Wardour Street. Was there one on Dean Street? There's Chinatown. There's one at SW1, Edgware Road. You know, places like that. And obviously Funland, Trocadero. So yeah, if they didn't have it, I didn't really play this game locally because some of the sticks were atrocious. And I was like, nah, not for Tekken. I'm not doing this for Tekken 3. I do believe at this point, I was still hard into Alpha 2. I think Alpha 3 may have been out, but I wasn't really into it. But Tekken was the game that took me away from the Alpha series, to be honest. It was just huge, especially when I got the home version, because my home version was the American version, NTSC. And that's what I knew. I wasn't waiting for the power. I didn't want borders. I didn't want a slower game. I was like, oh, hell no. I want it to be as close to the arcade as perfect, and I wanted it sooner because I believe the PAL version came out. It seemed like a decade late. Obviously, it's probably months, but I didn't care. I didn't want to wait for that game. When I got it, I invited Jazz around, aka JazFather, and he thought it was a TV advert. He was like, "Oh, they're advertising Tekken 3." I was like, "Yeah." And then, because he obviously saw the intro, and he had never seen the intro before, because the intro wasn't the arcade intro; it was a proper CGI. And then when I pressed start and started playing, he was like, "Wait, hold on a minute. Wait, you've got Tekken 3?" And I just had this big cheesy grin on my face. Obviously, I'd hidden the second control pad. And he was like, no, challenge. Where'd you have a controller? Stop messing about. So I took it from the drawer, plugged it in, and we just had some crazy gaming session. Because our gaming sessions would be like, especially for fighting games, easily 2 hours, probably 3, never less than 1. So yeah, we just had crazy sessions on this game. Crazy sessions. And obviously, one of the sessions that we had later on, I mean, Jazz is always a cheap bastard. He always picks a cheap character. And he picked True Ogre. And he's got this move where the snake hand bites you. I think it's forward, and I don't know, square or triangle. And I couldn't get out of it. And even if he blocked it, the stun was crazy. And he used to follow up with other moves. And he just got a crazy winning streak. And he was just laughing at me, telling me I should be ashamed of myself. I can't really play Tekken and stuff like that. And I couldn't beat it. Anyway, that session I lost. And I think I went to WH Smith's. And you know, you used to be able to get... They had the magazines in a cellophane bag, and there'd be like some sort of cheat book with it. And one of them had a Tekken book. And I, as you do, I'm sorry, but I cracked open the magazine. I had no intention of buying it. But anyway, I cracked open the magazine. I had a look through the Tekken book. And lo and behold, it had the counter to that stupid move by True Ogre. You just had to tap forward. And that was it. So the next time I played Jazz, obviously he picked the Ogre, the smug bastard, think he was going to win. No, I trounced him. Every time he did, I got out of it. I danced in front of him. I did stupid dance. I told him his family would be ashamed of him if they saw him playing Tekken like this. I said he should give up his gamer card. Good times. Real good times. So, another memorable moment for me was in my family. There was two, at this time, when Tekken 3 was hot. And everyone was playing it on the home console. Everyone was playing it. This game was this big. Doesn't matter what. Everyone thought they were good at Tekken 3. My cousin, Kaz, or what's his PSN name? I think it's Master Massop. But anyway, Kaz. We were probably the best at fighting games. It was always me and him. I was more Street Fighter. He was Kill Instinct and Soul Calibur. So yeah, I would batter him at Street Fighter 2, the Alpha games, and vice versa with Soul Calibur and Kill Instinct. It wasn't even a battle. It was just a trouncing for him on me, and we would both run up our mouth about Tekken. But whenever we'd run up our mouth, there was never a PlayStation around for some reason, let alone a copy of Tekken 3. And one random day, I bumped into him in East London, Walthamstow High Street. If anyone knows where Walthamstow is. And my grandmother at the time, God rest her soul, she had a place just off of the high street. And we were still running up our mouths. And he was like, yeah, you know there's a PlayStation here. And I was like, whose PlayStation is it? He goes, I don't know, but it's at our grandmother's house. And I was like, there isn't a copy of Tekken 3. And I think I was like, I'll tell with that. And I think we went to Game or whatever. Because by this time, I think it was on the Platinum range. And we just picked one up for like £10 brand new. We went there. And we had it out. Unfortunately, it was the PAL version and the time is totally different. But we were going toe to toe. And I think by the end of the session, I would have lost, say, I don't know, 50 to 44, something like that. Or if it was up to 10, it would have been like 10-8, 10-9. But yeah, he just adapted to the crappy PAL speed better than me. I just couldn't do it. I wasn't hitting my juggle combos, but we were going toe to toe and at it. I think I was Paul Phoenix and he was Jin Kazama. And yeah, he was doing combos I hadn't seen. And I think I did a few combos he hadn't seen. It was really good. It was like, I don't know, it'd be like Real Madrid versus Barcelona. You know, it's one of those type of matches. Not saying that we were the best, but yeah, it's just really good times. Coincidentally, my cousin Kaz, at one point, he was, I believe, in the top 3 Soul Calibur players in the UK. My man won cars, money, all sorts of stuff. He would go to Europe and win there. Yes, he was no joke. Serious, yeah. I mean, I'll probably still batter him, but that's neither here nor there. I'd never tell him he's going to beat me. I mean, even on Tekken 7, which I don't really play, and he does, and he just chooses cheap characters. You know what? Let's actually make this about my cousin Kaz. Kaz is so cheap. You think Jaz is a cheap player? No, Kaz is cheap. He only picks characters that give you 50-50s. That's all he does, so that he can try and confuse you. He will never ever pick an honest character because he's not winning. That's not in his. That's not in his wheelhouse. He's just cheap. But you know what? I love him for it, and he does dirty laughs after he wins and stuff. But yeah, that's just my cousin Kaz. Tekken 3, like I think at that time, it was synonymous with PlayStation. I'd go to barbecues and I would see a PlayStation in someone's front room and a copy of Tekken 3, and I'd be like, "What? Anyone want a challenge?" And they'd be about 30 dudes about, "Yeah, come, Tekken 3, let's go." Everyone thought they was gonna win. Everyone. This game was the second coming. The first coming was Street Fighter 2, but I think Tekken 3 was that same thing but slightly different, because it wasn't like that in the arcade, but for the home, I don't know. At one point on the SNES, you had to have a SNES to play Street Fighter, like World Warrior. And then a year later, it came to the Mega Drive and stuff. But when it came to Tekken 3, it was just the game. Everyone seemed to have, if you had a PlayStation, you had a copy of Tekken 3. Whether it be standard or platinum, or you had an NTSC version like myself and Jazz and everybody else, you just had a copy of Tekken 3. It was just brilliant. Okay, so going back to the arcade, let's just bring this whole video around full circle so I can end it. The only other place that I did play this game, apart from Namco Wonder Park and the Trocadero, was a little arcade near Goodge Street Station, which is on Tottenham Court Road, called, I believe it's called Goodge Street Casino, or just Casino. That's what it was known as. And especially on Friday evenings, you could get some of the best arcade challenges going. There was so many people. Everyone went there first, and the challenges were hardcore. And you had to be on your A game. You had to be to make that 50 pence last. And there was just all comers. I mean, I saw people like Ryan Hart play there and what have you. So yeah, it was just something else. That's where I would go to play pool. I'd do a little bit of Hiachi. Because I think on the 2-player side, I just didn't like the 2-player stick, so it used to annoy me. But if I was challenging on 2-player side, it'd be pool or law, and if I was on 1-player side, it'd be Hiachi, pool, law, and yeah, all three of them. So yeah, so that was cool. So yeah, that basically is that for this video for me. It was just my experience with Tekken 3. I like the fact this is now on a PlayStation 5. Obviously it's emulated, but it still looks nice, feels nice. The NTSC version, it's still a great game. It is probably one of the greatest games of all time. Not beating us, but the greatest games. It's just fantastic. No DLC needed. You had a good cast of characters, modes galore, bonus modes. At the time, stupendous CGI. Me and my friends used to be like, "Oh, imagine if Tekken actually looks like the intros and the endings. Imagine one day if the graphics look like that." And here we are today when they do, or they look better than this. But yeah, this was such a game changer for me. I just stopped playing Street Fighter for the longest time because of this game. This game was the granddaddy for me of 3D fighters. Yeah, beautiful game. Absolutely beautiful game. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. I hope everyone's well. I hope you're doing good. And just remember, just keep playing your games, people. Whether they be new games, modern games, old school games, retro games, arcade games. Whatever you want to do, just keep playing, man. Games are great. Games are fun. So yeah, I'll see you all later. Peace out.